What's up, Spicy Squad?
Oh, Renette, you're muted.
Hey y'all, hey. How y'all doing? Happy Thursday. Super excited to be here for episode
34.
yeah, episode. Can y'all hear
Yes.
me?
Yes, we can hear you.
34. Yay. So excited. So I figured out the problem. How about I need to turn on the Wi-Fi? Anyways, y'all know things don't always happen how they supposed to happen, but they happen to help you to move forward or whatever. And so tonight we are definitely talking about moving forward. But before we do, I am Renette, aka the Next Level Chick.
I'm Latoya, your CEO partner.
I'm simply Tammy, your inspirational coach.
I am Coach Gail Benson, your favorite certified master life coach.
Yes. And as we said, this is episode 34. We have been rocking and rolling and really just showing up, showing out. So as you're watching this, we ask that you go ahead and share it out. We would love for you to comment. We're on Facebook, we are on Apple, we're on YouTube, iHeart, Spotify, all of the platforms. So y'all catch us on one of them and make sure you're engaging and commenting. We would love to hear your comments. And we thank you so much for your support. That Spicy Squad, y'all showing up and showing out. So again, we say kudos to y'all for showing up and showing out. Woo. So what are we talking about tonight? I know y'all saw it. All wrong. What? All wrong. Yes, all wrong. Rewriting the script after 40. So after 40, many women find themselves stuck in a cycle of limiting beliefs, thinking they're too old to pivot, too behind to catch up, or that their best days are behind them instead of in front of them, or that they are just not able to move forward. So we're calling out those negative limiting thoughts. All wrong. We'll dive into the common narratives that no longer serve us and explore how to rewrite them with our truth at this big spicy age.
Right.
We're going to talk about power and purpose. We're going to be learning how to recognize sneaky, self-sabotaging things that are coming up in our heads and in our minds. And we're going to dispel those myths. We're going to shift our mindsets and start attracting more abundance, more wealth, more happiness, more joy with confidence and with clarity. And as I've been saying, it's time to buckle up and ride. Woo!
Yes.
Y'all. This topic really resonates. And as we talked about it a little bit before, we all resonate with it. And we are not going to be like those spoiler alert people. But if you saw the movie Straw, which I just saw, and it's like, oh my God. We wonder, like, how can all of this happen to somebody in like one day? And if you've seen it, like sometimes, and y'all saw the people in the background, they were feeling everything she was feeling and they were empathetic to her situation. But one of the things that we see is that we don't always have that help that we're looking for, or so we think. So, common limiting beliefs for women over 40. I missed my chance. It's too late to start over. I should have had it all figured out by now. How these beliefs block abundance, confidence, and joy. So, my question to you all is, what's one belief that you carried about yourself after 40 that you know is all wrong?
That we know
Repeat
it's
the
all
question
wrong.
one more time, Renette. Can you repeat the question?
What is one belief? Yeah, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. What is one belief that you've carried about yourself after 40 that you now know is all wrong?
Well, if you say after 40 versus now almost 60, at 40, I didn't believe I could make it on my own. I really didn't. There's so many obstacles against us out here. Um, uh, and when you think about it, a lot of the women out here, we think we have to have a mate or we have to have certain things in order to make it. And later on in life, I found out that a little faith, a little belief, I could make it out here on my own. So, um, um, I would say that, but you're talking about almost 20 years later, um,
Right,
and
right.
times and
Any
things have
40 plus,
changed.
50 plus. 60
Right,
plus. Yes, definitely from 40 to 50, it's been a lot of changes for some of us. Some of us from 50 to 60, it's been a lot of changes, and so on and so forth.
yes.
And my thing is, like, dang, this, I thought it was going to be so much easier. Did y'all feel that way too?
Yeah.
Like, ooh,
Absolutely.
it's going to be easier.
Yeah, it feel
But
that way,
it's
but you have to have the knowledge and of how to get to a certain level, and sometimes we don't have that, and we're stuck, and sometimes we don't have people to show us or tell us.
Right.
Um, so uh, we we do the best we can, you know. Um, and we do talk about the circles and the people around us, and all this stuff does make a difference, and especially answering this question, it's just really hard.
right. I love what you said, Tammy, because I mean, even though you said after 40 versus now, because your situation is different, but it's a lot of people that maybe 50, 60, and they've been in these relationships kind of stuck in them and feeling to themselves still. Damn, I
Right,
just can't make it on my own. I
right,
don't know how to get ahead. So even though you pass 40, you might still be in that space and place. You feel like you're not enough to really go out and get this thing and do this thing that you said you were gonna do.
right,
You're not
right,
in that space and place. So
right,
that was a very good one to bring up. And it's not just for women that's 40, it's for so many women. That's your situation where you have definitely um, stepped out there, showed up, showed out, and you've been able to really do that thing on your own. So you
right.
dispelled that myth. So what's some other things like you all have been carrying that is all wrong? That belief.
One of the things for me, and this may have come before 40, is that you can't have healthy relationships with other women. So that was a belief that I've kind of heard kind of throughout my life. And I have amazing relationships with women, you all, the Spicy Squad. And, I have some other relationships as well that, women that I consider my sisters. We're not blood, but I would, you know, trust them with my life, my finances, my family, all of those things.
Mhm.
And yeah, so that's one of the things for me is that I couldn't have healthy relationships with women, but I absolutely do, and I love it.
Yeah. So Renette, let me piggyback off of what Latoya just said. This week I did two posts, and the posts were exactly relevant to what she just said. And the posts were about my sisters. And I said, not by blood, but by so many other things, trust. And it's so important that we recognize those women that are there for us, and those women that we can piggyback off of, and that are positive aspects in our lives.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, what, and I've been there as well. So, what I have learned at this big spicy age that, whatever family we have, that by blood makes us relatives,
Absolutely.
and we call it family. But then you have those friends that really become your family, and
Hmm.
so
Right.
they're known as family. They're the sisters, they're the brothers. Those are the people that you feel sometimes closer to than you do with your own sibling. And it's
Yes.
happening more and more and more.
Mm-hmm.
And because we grew up in an era where family was everything,
Right.
and you don't turn on your sister, you gotta, if they fight, you fight. If this happened, that, you gotta take care of your brothers
Yeah.
and sisters. That's how we grew up.
Right.
And so a lot of people just get it so twisted and feel like, I can't be this close with somebody because they're not my family. But you absolutely, positively can. And so the fact that you can have these healthy relationships, and Toy, I'm so glad you brought it up, because that's what broke me into another circle that I never believed that I would be a part of. And y'all have heard me say I went to a women's empowerment conference, and these ladies kept pulling on me to come and just being so supportive. And I did everything I could to push them away. I'm like, why do they keep freaking bothering me? Why are they calling me? They call me and I look at my phone and won't even answer, because I
Wow.
felt like, what do they want? So I
Right.
had it all wrong. They wanted to see me win. They
Yes.
wanted to see me go to new levels. And
Right.
those same people are still for me today. And they
That's good.
have no blood connection at all.
Right.
So if you're in that space and place where you sitting dealing with these same toxic, evil, non-caring, jealous
Right.
family members or friends,
Mm-hmm.
and you're sitting in it and thinking that I got to do this because this is my family, we got to protect them at all costs. You got it all wrong. You still got it wrong.
Mm.
And we here tonight to help you to get it right.
Right.
Because why are you living your life with somebody that you don't even want to deal with? Why do
Why?
you keep going to these family reunions and family trips? We're not talking against your family. We're talking about your life, your mental health, your well-being. And you
Mm.
can't be in that space and place when you're constantly dealing with the negativity, the jealousy. I mean, some people in your own family that you've been dealing with your whole life, they don't want
Right.
to see you win.
Wow.
They're jealous, but you got to be with them and deal with them because they're family, because they're mom, because they sister, that's your cousin. Okay,
Right.
that's all I can say. Okay, you got it all wrong. Well, that was real good.
Yeah. So you have to mature in
Dale,
your beliefs, though.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And
say that again, Tammy, for those that sitting back.
What happened?
I say that again for those in the back.
I said mature in your beliefs.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
There's so much, so many gems that just this early on in the podcast that, my sisters have touched on. And I wholeheartedly agree with everything. My focus, because of my cognitive focus that I have in my background, I I tend to make sure that the external factors are not the priority or the driving force for me. I want to make sure that when we are looking at what's all wrong, we got to we got to turn the magnifying glass around on ourselves. We have to
Yeah.
look at the nucleus that's feeding us
Right.
and what's
Right.
driving the decisions that we are making. If
Right.
we're strong within ourselves about who we are, what our purpose is, and what we're doing, the external factors, you can put a buffer between that. But most of us here, even at the age of 40, what I had all wrong is I thought that there was a certain time frame that I had to have things done, and it was a wrap. From I shouldn't even try to do these things. I shouldn't even try to resuscitate these dreams that I had, or these thoughts, or follow what I thought I
Right.
could do for myself, because I thought I had to have it done by a certain time. And until I was able to get down into my own, you know, ingrained beliefs that saying that, oh, your time is up, you might as well just settle on down and just sit where you at and be quiet and just be a wife and raise your kids and enjoy motherhood. And, you know, eventually, you know, you'll just get used to that. But
Right.
in my spirit, was fighting that, like, no, I'm
Yes.
not doing that. And I had to
Yes.
be okay with listening to my spirit saying, no, that is not what you are
Wow.
here for. And to really believe that I had everything in me to
Right.
do what I was created to do, but I had to believe it. And I had to understand why I had those thoughts. And I communicated in a post not too long ago, is that every thought that comes up is it's really not meant for us to jump on. But where do our thoughts come from before we start putting being 10 toes down and knee deep in these thoughts? Where are they
Right.
coming from?
Right.
Why do we have them? And it takes work to do that. A lot of times we don't want to peel that onion back,
Right.
but it's driving us. Our thoughts drive us, and it's a loyal energy that will take you wherever you allow your thoughts to go.
To
So
go.
my focus is on making sure that I'm controlling my narrative, and I speak to me and my beliefs so that I can have boundaries and buffers for all of those external factors of family and foes and friends and partners and business partners and different networks. That once your internal dialogue is strong, and I'm not just talking about talking to yourself, you got to have a spiritual connection, because I will not always have the answers for myself. I have found that out. I do not have all the answers for myself. Because if I listen to me, baby, I cannot just listen to me. So I let my spiritual guide, which is my creator, the God that I serve, lead me and talk to me so that my nucleus is my compass. And anything outside of
There
that,
you go. There you
baby,
go.
the boundaries is severely, intensely enforced.
Mm. Love it.
It was good.
Absolutely. I love that
Nice. Mm.
that you talked about the internal and the external factors. Because a
Mhm.
lot of times we aren't even recognizing these external factors for what they are, or
Mhm.
not so much for what they are, but who they are.
Mhm.
And when we don't recognize that, that becomes a problem. And you see that external thing happening.
Mm-hmm.
And so even though you know it may not be the thing and you see something is wrong, you choose to just kind of go along with it. And if you've been doing that, you need to go internal, as Gail just said,
Right.
because you need to look at yourself and see why you accepting these limiting beliefs. See why
Mhm.
you accepted all this negativity. Why you got all this in your heart that needs to be cleaned up and cleaned out, but you refuse to deal with it. So we have to look at both the external and the internal. And
Mhm.
that is a hard thing to do, because when we were growing up, who really looked internal? It was not about internal back in the day. It was all about looking good. And half of us looked good, but we sure didn't feel good. We had
Mm.
all kind of mess going on what had happened in the house, and it got to stay in the house. So you are about the external, even though the internal is all jacked up.
And we don't get
And
taught that.
so, Gail,
Renee. We don't
we
get taught
don't.
that.
That's what I'm saying. We don't
Yeah,
get
we
taught that
don't.
at all.
And
And
that's a
now
part of
many of us are just learning that.
right.
And then some of us haven't even learned it because you still around the same family, the same friends, and the same people doing the same things. And so you haven't gotten a chance to learn that. I didn't learn that till I was in my 40s. I mean, I'm looking at these ladies who really genuinely have my best interest and concern at heart. And
Mhm.
I'm looking at them like, if they don't leave me alone. Oh my God, I don't feel like being bothered. If they
Mhm.
call me one more time, and when I see them coming my way, I'm trying to get away and go the other way. Because I wasn't
Mhm.
taught that, like Gail said. We did not know. But now that we know better, we must do better. And that's why we're all on here, because we dealt with those external factors for the longest. And then we found out about the internal factors and we're dealing with them. And we want to share and help as many women
Right.
as we can, even if they're not 40 plus yet, even if they're younger, because some people have gone through things because they grew up in this toxic environment, and y'all know what happens is generation after generation after generation, and it doesn't stop until somebody decides the buck stops with me and I gotta do
Mm-hmm.
something different.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like some things that have happened in my situation where younger generations still dealing with it. Because
Absolutely.
when something is so toxic, you try to bring out the good, the internal, the toxins are still spewing themselves out. And so if that person in that generation or whoever, whether it's our generation, younger or older, keeps accepting it, they aren't going to grow.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why stuff like this is important. Somebody might be flipping through and see this and be like, oh my God, thank you, God,
Right.
because we need to talk about these things because there's so much we got wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Wow.
oh, I just got an idea to tell y'all about. Y'all remind me to tell y'all about the episode, and y'all remember they got it wrong. Y'all remember we did that, but I'm gonna tell y'all
Yes.
what we
Uh-huh.
need to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
So the next thing, how has that belief affected your decisions, your relationships, and your self worth?
I was delayed. It was so much that I had always dreamed of doing, and because I thought that it was a certain amount of time or a period of my life where I should have accomplished these things. And keep in mind, nobody sat me down and said, you have to do this by this time, and that time. It was so much of what I saw that I saw people doing. Oh, my mom did this, when I was in the first grade, or when I was in eighth grade, she had already accomplished this and did that, and this person, and looking at again outside at other people, not really applying it just to who I am, because I wasn't really taught to listen to myself. Our voices get snatched away very, very early on. Children are seen and not heard. Stay in a child's place. And
Mhm.
as you're growing up and you have these questions, and some of the questions are to fuel, your inspiration and your aspirations to do these things. But who do you talk to? Who do you talk to that will really fuel you and pour into you? My parents poured into us, but it was just in a different way. They poured into us to always be vocal. Don't give anybody your voice unless you talking around grown folks. Don't ask that person that, because, and again, you hear these conversations in the background of how they talk to other people about certain people. So you already got these preconceived notions about who people are based on what you've heard in your house. Even though we are seen and not heard, that don't mean we deaf, because we hear everything you saying on that telephone. I heard what you said about Miss Girl.
Everything.
I heard what you said, so I'm not gonna go to her house because she nasty, her house dirty. I'm not gonna drink none of that Kool-Aid she trying to give us because she don't clean her house. So all these things that are part of your environment that have happened in your upbringing, not intentional, it's just what you have consistently seen and heard. We make life decisions a lot of the time because those things get planted, those seeds start nurturing and taking root in us, and that's how we live our lives. And
Absolutely.
I
This
was
is
so
this is so
delayed.
good.
I had to go through something. I mean, something. I was forced to accept and learn how to listen to myself because I had to go through something first.
Mm.
Mm,
Wow.
yeah.
Ooh. Um.
That's
Uh.
deep. And the thing
That,
of oh,
yeah.
go ahead, Tammy.
No. Well. No. Gail said it good. I guess we all were raised a little differently. I wasn't raised in chaotic situations. I was raised in a more calm situation, a more mature situations, so forth and so on. I learned how to balance life a little earlier in life because I was taught how to meditate and do the things I did. But the fight was this is that when you are in a union with someone or people, what happens is when you're taught to be business minded, when you're taught to promote and do things and to grow, and you watch your parents doing it, and you get into the wrong union with the wrong person, and they don't understand that. In my situation, I kept fighting to be and do what I was supposed to be and do. I even had to fight where it came to my kids and push them through with things against, but wrong or right, um, the battle is still a battle. Whether it's Gail's way or my way, and all the talent that I have, all the things that I wanted to do and accomplish, I was still pushing through trying to do those things. And it hindered my relationship and my marriage because they didn't have the understanding of how I grew up. They had an understanding of how they grew up. So all of this stuff plays a role in it all. So when Gail speaks her way and I'm speaking to you this way, it still all is a delay in you becoming who you are and who you want to be. So now at my ripe age, we're almost 60, now I'm trying to fight to make things happen that I wanted to make happen. And I'm doing it, but it's so much later in life. So it's never too late.
You're making it happen beautifully, Tan Tan.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes,
you
yes.
are. And even though this is the delay, sometimes we know delay is not denial. And when we get stuff too early, we're not ready for it. And so one of the things I was talking about this today of why we need to cast our cares on God. Because when we do, and that delay, that time that was held up, it actually is growing you. So when we cast our cares on God, then it helps us to get the new perspective that we need so we can move forward to try to get it right. It helps to give us the strength that we need so we can, kind of go forth, even though we feel like, oh my God, I want to quit. And it's all wrong. And sometimes we feel it's wrong, but we don't know any better. And then with that being said, as we go through these things, it gives us wisdom. And so, yes, it's been a delay, but it's coming and it's
Yes.
coming later.
Yes.
So when it's coming later, we are in a better space and place. So that's why we have to know, you know what? Like Gail just said, I was forced to talk to myself. I was forced to tell myself this. And I I was telling myself some things and I felt like, okay, I didn't feel forced. I heard what I was saying, but I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it. And so, because I had heard so much of the wrong stuff, I didn't feed into the right stuff. And it wasn't until I got around the right people and I really started knowing. I grew up Catholic, first of all. So, with that being said, we prayed the Psalms and did that. I didn't really know how to pray like I do now. So now that I know how to pray, and I heard as a child, cast your cares on God. But if you go to church and you listening to them, they are, back in the day, they had it all wrong too because they talking. You supposed to be at church hearing the good news of the Lord when you hearing you hearing the blues. The blues instead of the good. Oh, my light bill high. Jesus, just give me enough to pay my bill. But God is the God of more than enough. God is the God who could give us everything and anything. And so we had it all wrong. And so when your mind is telling you, oh, I should have more, I should be doing more, and then you talk to those people who you got it all wrong from, now you're greedy. Now you want too much. Now you're not appreciative. Girl, you got to have some gratitude. And so it was hard understanding what I needed to understand so that I could really move past all the wrong. So at that point where I had it all wrong, I kept it wrong for a long time until I got around some of the right people. And it truly, like I just asked, how did it affect your decisions, your relationship, and your self worth? It really, really affected my decision. Because when you are brought up in a certain way and people are telling you, you should be seen and not heard, you start to take that into your adulthood. So you don't shoot for the best, you shoot for the less. You just shoot for enough to get by. That's what happens when you have it all wrong. You don't feel like you can even really accomplish that dream. How many people went to college and they wanted to be this and that or whatever, but they didn't do it? You know why? Because they didn't really believe it. So they changed their major or they did this or that or whatever. It happened.
Yeah, they sure did. Because at
And
Jones Hall at
I'm so
FAMU, it
glad.
was heck.
Okay.
Jones Hall.
Woo! It was just like crazy. You know what I thought I was going to be? First, I mean, I really wanted to be an actress and I wanted to be like this dentist and all of that. But my mom said, they ain't gonna let no black girl get in this movie and this and that or whatever. And so all the things I was thinking as I thought about the actress, as I thought about the dentist, and I wanted to really do it. And then I'm taking these hard science classes and I failed. I just had in my mind it wasn't even worth it. I couldn't do it because I heard so much of the wrong stuff. And so
Wow.
that's why we got to turn that around
Right.
and understand how to bring our self esteem up, our self worth up. My self esteem was under the ground. I looked good, I sounded good, and I was confident in my dress. I was confident around people, but really, when I got home behind closed doors, I wasn't confident. A hot mess. And
And it
that's
all
what we
started
see a
with a
lot.
decision.
It all started with the decision. And that's what we see a lot of. We see these public successes, but truly feeling like private failure because we got it all. And yes, Gail, it all started with a decision. But is it our fault that we made these bad decisions? Maybe not as a child, but some people try to say it's still not your fault.
Mm-hmm.
But I know we've heard as a child, we look like our parents, but when we grow up, we really look like our decision.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
So
You
we got to
know,
get it.
it's true. It's true. And decision making, as much as I've tried to live my life in the most positive manner, um, I found myself making one or two decisions that could have derailed my whole life, but and it had nothing to do with crime or drugs or anything like that, but it just had to do with these relationships and stuff. And and I had to get myself together, get myself back together. So it all everything we do is a decision,
Mm-hmm.
especially when we get up in the morning, we have to decide, what is this day going to be like for us? And in that, we have to also, when we walk out our door and go where we're going, there are people out there, and this all kind of people are the crazy, smart, broke down, and we have to encounter all of this. So we have to make a decision as to how we're going to deal with this stuff.
Absolutely.
And so everything is a
That is
decision.
so.
It's two decisions. You either
Yeah,
gonna decide to start or you're gonna decide to stop. It is
exactly.
nothing in between. You decide to start or stop. You
Right.
don't have to start over if you don't quit. So you either gonna decide to quit or you decide to keep going
Y'all
so you
speaking
don't
some
have
truth.
to start over. So
Well, let
it's
me tell you, you're right. But guess what? The next thing you do, if it's all wrong, you got to learn how to turn your back to it and go the other opposite way.
but
So
sometimes
so this thing can
removal
get,
is the reward. You got to remove
ooh,
yourself. Let the
yeah,
removal reward you.
yeah,
And I'm so glad you said that, Tammy, about
yeah.
turning your back. I had a conversation with someone, and it was like, "Oh, I ain't no turning back. I'm not looking back." But this is the problem with not looking back, because you're not looking back, but you damn near falling backwards because you got so much baggage and trauma and turmoil and pain that you dragging with you. You
Right.
won't even turn around and release it and free yourself.
Right.
So look behind you and set yourself free,
Right. And
because
that's
you're
important.
not making progress.
You're not. And Gail, let me tell you, this week alone, and you all we haven't conversated, but there's a couple things that happened here this week for me.
Mhm.
And I just looked at Latoya and I said, I'm not there anymore. And this stuff just keeps like chasing me down. And I'm like, I'm just not there anymore.
Eyes
And
free.
huh?
Eyes free.
Eyes free. So the thing is, and I told her, I said, I'm gonna have to go into meditation and prayer right now because I gotta get other stuff off my back because the devil keeps, and no, it's not gonna happen. We're not doing that. We're not going there. I'm going this way. Leave that back there.
Mhm.
I love what Sonia said.
Absolutely.
You don't have to start over if you don't quit, but if you
Mhm.
keep going, change the direction if it doesn't suit you.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Love that.
Yes.
Absolutely. So, so true. So even if you get it wrong, like she said, you don't have to quit. We ain't gonna get everything right. And
Yes.
I believe that things go wrong so they can go right. We made a lot of wrong decisions based on how we grew up or who we've been around. But we have a chance to make it right. Just because it's wrong, like Sonia said, you don't have to quit.
Right.
You change your direction. And I
Mhm.
Beautifully
think that's
stated.
where a lot of us are on, change our direction. And when you change your direction, you change your life.
It's so
Right.
many exits,
We
exits.
all have the ability to direct.
It's
Yes.
exits we can take on all in the entire world, every highway and byway, as they would say.
Hmm.
I was coming up on the highways and byways of life. Every road you get on has an opportunity for you to get off.
Hey,
Change
Miss Ella. Miss
direction.
Ella. I want Miss Ella to explain that. I use it for leverage. I love that.
Absolutely. We all have, the thing is, we got to make the decision to get off. We have to make the decision to change directions. Maybe
Hmm.
we have to make the decision to shift into something else, because maybe that thing we so passionate about doing because it was a good idea. It
Right.
probably was a good idea, but maybe it just wasn't meant for business. Maybe that was something you were supposed to give to somebody else
Somebody
so they
else.
could do it. You have to
Yes.
be willing to shift everything. You don't stay on the road just because it came up or something
Yes.
you felt like you wanted to do. Use
Right.
the tool. You have the tools to pick and choose. Your
Right.
beginning is anywhere you start. You can start
Right.
over
Mm,
tomorrow, and if that don't
yeah.
work, change directions and go another route. GPS will tell you all the time, you are now being rerouted.
Rerouted.
You are now being rerouted.
I love it.
Baby, reroute yourself.
Woo. Roto Rooter.
Absolutely. And the thing about
Mm.
it is when GPS give you directions, they give you more than one direction. So you can take, you have a couple of choices. And so we have to be in the space and place to understand that because we made that choice, you don't have to stay there.
Yes.
Like we said, every day you wake up, that's a new day. And the
Right.
Yes.
GPS to me is God provided system. So all these different routes, He done gave me all of these. And so when I get on the wrong one and I need to change courses, I can. I can
Right.
take
Your
this
position.
other route. Isn't that what we do when traffic is we stuck in traffic? Most of
Right.
us ain't even patient enough to sit there. We don't sit in that traffic. You backing up, you trying to turn around in the middle of the highway, and you getting up out of that traffic. But when something happens in your life, why do you keep sitting in it instead of getting up and turning that around? You keep
Mhm.
talking about it. You keep going to this person and that person over and over, taking it to the phone instead of to the throne, and talking to this negative person and that, and people that don't even know what you're doing, and you letting them give you advice. You don't do that when the
Woo.
traffic bad, do you?
That's
That
bad.
thing up
Woo.
and turn around and find you another route to get you where you need to go.
Wow.
And that's what you got to do with your life.
Mhm.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah,
I agree.
that's what you got to do. So,
Mm.
with that being said, and y'all, this is deep, and we've said some great things. And as I talked about at the beginning of the lady Taraji P. Henson, I forgot her name on the thing, but in Straw, so much happened to her.
Ooh, yes,
And
it
she
did.
just couldn't get it together.
Yes.
But I'm telling you, that's why we have to keep God in the forefront. We have
Right.
to cast our cares on Him and sometimes take a different direction. And so, what is a truth that we can replace with a negative thought we have today? And I want to
Mhm.
say this up front. One of my big truths, and through everything I face, I used to think as a younger person and as a child, I was not enough. And sometimes I go into situations, I always think, ooh, I'm enough. I start that way. I could do this, I could do that. But then sometimes when we get in those situations, we start to think, I don't have enough. I'm not going to get enough. I'm not enough. And all of this starts to come. But we need to understand who we are. We need to understand whose we are and turn those negative thoughts around. Everything we need, we hear it over and over that it is inside of us. How
Mhm.
do you pull it out? Because you've gone through so much. So maybe this didn't happen, that didn't happen. Again, I'm going back to casting our cares on God. God gives us provision. How many times have you been in a situation where you didn't think you were going to make it, but God gave you provision? He gave you a way, He gave you an out. So every time you come to this situation where it's all wrong and you've done something wrong, you better go back and remember what He did before. Because if He did it before, He can do it again. God is the same God yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
But
And so,
remember
yes, we're going to make some.
that takes obedience, it takes faith, and it takes patience. And you have to pay attention. You have to stay consistent.
Absolutely.
It just doesn't happen.
And as you said, it doesn't happen overnight. That's why we have to. But sometimes when people don't understand, you have to give it to your higher power, to God, because you don't always have the patience, and He don't give you the patience. Sometimes, we hear about the faith of a mustard seed, but when everything going wrong, sometimes we can't find that little seed, but we got to find a way. So if you could just get to whatever, or somebody that can help you. I love the story. It's in the Bible. I don't know all the whatever, but it was a man. He was sick, and he wanted them to. They picked up his bed and they took him to the place. And they got there, and it was just too crowded. And then the man said, the people that were talking to him, they said, you can't get in. It's just too crowded. It's just too crowded. It's not gonna work. We need to go on back home. He said, no, we're not going back home. We're going on the roof. Then when they got on the roof and they looking in, they didn't see a way. But he said it was a way. And so he went down through the roof and he got what he wanted, his healing. And so sometimes we just got to find a way, no matter what we're going through. And I know it's hard to find a way sometimes when you think it's all done. It's not done until we decide to stop. Like Sonia said, we can't quit. We got to keep going. And it's hard to keep going. That's why it's good to understand that we got to get the relationships and the people that's going to help us to move forward. That's going to encourage us when we're down, encourage us when we have it all wrong. We need to reach out for help. And that's one thing we struggle with,
Yeah.
especially as Black women.
Yeah.
Do we want to reach for help? No, we don't. But who are we hurting?
So
If your child needed help, are you going to reach for help for them? Are you going to sit and be like, I ain't about to ask them? Your whole mind gonna change. You're gonna do what you need to do for your children, but what about you?
And it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect, but you have to do it on purpose.
there you go.
That's good.
On
Yeah,
purpose and purpose. Yes, ma'am, Bill. That's very,
that's
very good.
beautiful. Yeah,
Very, very good.
yeah.
How, tell me, you kind kind of just talked about this. How can you start showing up daily in alignment with the woman you are becoming, not the woman you've been? How do we get in alignment for that God given assignment?
Well, first of all, you have to understand that assignment, Burnett.
Mhm.
And when God is talking to you and He's working with you, you have to listen and pay attention. You have to block out everything else. And that's how you do it. When you start doing that and listening and moving forward and having faith in where He's taking you and what's coming for you, then that changes the whole game. Because I'm not listening to the naysayers. I'm listening to what He's telling me to do, what He's telling me not to do. I'm now understanding why He's moving people, why I'm not supposed to go this way, and why I'm not supposed to go that way. It's so important to hear what God is saying to you. You know, my son last night, we're out here talking. It's 11:30 at night. He says, "Mom, do you hear God talking to you, or do you feel Him?" You know, there's a difference in all this. You can't
Mhm.
assume what God has for you. You can't assume what He's telling you to do. You have to hear Him, and you have to understand the process. And that's and then being consistent with it and patient with it, instead of jumping out doing what you want to do, which can get you in trouble. And I found that out real fast. And I had to get back and correct myself. So um that's what I'd have to say to that, Renette.
I love it. I love it. Are y'all seeing what Deep wrote right here? A positive statement about yourself. My ability. Now it says, I'm capable being replaced by I am not capable.
Right.
Mhm.
Self worth, cognitive distortions, and negative experiences.
Nice.
That's
Love
I love
that.
good,
it.
D.
I love it,
Mhm.
D.
I'm not replaceable.
Mm, mm.
You have to understand. That's
That's
why you have
good.
to know who you are. That's why you have
Mhm.
to know whose you are.
Who's
We are
you
made
are.
in His image.
Mhm.
Yes, yes.
And
Definitely.
so when we know that, you have to move like that. Focus on self awareness, intentionality, and consistent action. That's the
I
whole
love it.
thing. Because when
Absolutely.
you are in the space and place of thinking that I got it all wrong and you believe in these wrong thoughts, many times when people do something wrong, they're so down on themselves over and over and over. All they doing is replaying it, and you're stuck. So that consistent action is so important. How many times do you get stuck in something and you just feel like you don't want to do it?
Yeah,
We all been there.
yeah,
We all been there.
yeah,
Shadow
But you
boxing
gotta
bad.
show up.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. You know, Renette, let me say this, and this goes to D, Miss Adams. We had a conversation one day, and it was one sentence she said to me. It just clicked everything in my head. And it just takes, that's why we talk about having the right people around you. She
Mhm.
Yes.
said one statement to me, and it was about a year and a half ago, about a year, a little over a year ago. And it just totally, I was like, hey, you're right. And it's important to have that. Once she said that, I was like, I kind of wanted to beat my chest a little bit. You're right. So have those people and those friends around you who can do that. Okay. I got a phone call from a friend yesterday, a close friend, and she was here, and now she's doing this because she now has belief and patience, and she's following what God's telling her. So
Mhm.
she's seeing the elevation.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Okay. And I'm in her ear for days, for years. I've been in her ear. So it just takes that one to get you to start seeing it differently and to move differently.
Mhm.
Absolutely, absolutely. Getting around the right people will definitely change your whole entire life. And as
Yes.
we first started saying, blood
Tony, come here.
makes you a relative.
Yes.
And so we got to stop being so caught up. We're not telling you not to love your family or be around them, but if they are toxic and they're no good for you, it's okay to not be around them. We have to be in the space to learn to bless and let people go and not feel bad about it, not second guess it. And as you start to be able to do that, you'll start to see some things in your life change. When you around negativity, please expect more of it.
Mhm.
Yes.
I mean,
Mhm.
things happen here and there. But if
Right.
you constantly sitting in negativity and not moving and not growing, you ain't
Right.
going nowhere.
Right.
Right.
And you
Stuck
should
and
be wondering
stagnant.
why.
Mm-hmm.
Still
Mm-hmm.
And
stuck
when you
and stagnant. That's what it
and
is.
when you and when you think about that, Renette, when you're in negative environments, think about what happens when you're in positive environments.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
That part. Yes. That part.
It just turns everything around. And when you have these, like, since we've been doing Spicy Season Sisters, and even when I got into the space of speaking and doing my thing, and I'm coming from all these empowerment events or whatever learning environment, learning communities, my head is just on it. And I've spoken to so many people, and they've told me where they came from. They were this, and or they weren't this, and they weren't that, but now they're this. Once they got the belief, once they got around the people, once they followed the steps and learned to listen. And sometimes we let pride get on our side. Pride
Mhm.
should not be on your side. Your ego is not your amigo. And sometimes we too in our own head that we can't put this thing down, and we stop ourselves. And I'm always saying, do not be the weapon formed against yourself. And that's
Mhm.
what happens. And I know I've been in that space, baby. That pride runs because my mama taught me. First of all, you don't post. I know y'all probably heard it. You don't post to cry in front of nobody. Don't even admit you wrong. I mean, all the wrong stuff. And so when this is how you learn, you have to get in another environment to do better. If I had never gotten around other people and I continued to believe the things that I heard when I grew up over and over and over, I definitely wouldn't be sitting here today.
Mhm.
Wow.
It's okay to protect yourself and be selective about those you include in your circle.
Yes.
Surround yourself with positive energy.
Yes,
Amen.
Sonia.
Yeah. That's
Yes.
good.
We got you.
Growth-minded community. So, you people would say, oh, you got to find like-minded people. Sometimes you have the same like-mind and y'all both on the wrong track. You got to put yourself in a situation with growth-minded people who will charge you to grow, inspire you to learn more and do better. Not so much as always feeding, because when
Right.
you're in these communities, it's not that what you're taking out, but you also need to put in. You have
And
something of value, so you got to be willing to grow. Be
yeah.
forever be a student, not just learning about other people, but being open enough and give yourself the grace to learn more about yourself
Yes.
as you evolve into this new thing, into
Yeah.
this
Yes.
new woman, into these new places and spaces that you have never seen before. So you don't know you as a millionaire because you don't know yourself as a millionaire. So you need to learn healthy habits, financial habits, things that you need to do. Definitely boundaries is going to be a number
Ooh,
one priority. So
them
you
boundaries.
absolute enforcement. I am the law enforcement of my life, baby. I'm the
Amen.
president, the governor, the mayor, the councilwoman, the committee woman, and the CEO. I will enforce every boundary as long as it protects my peace, my purpose, my passion, and my power. Baby, you're not going to infiltrate these walls because I paid a hefty price to be here. I am
Yes.
going to forever be a student, and I'm going to learn from and give to. That's what we're here for. You shine your light for the people who can't find their way, and surround
Yes.
yourself around the people who are going to draw you to more light.
More.
Growth
More.
Yeah.
minded people. Find your tribe,
Absolutely.
baby. Find your tribe. I promise you.
On
You
your
can thank us
tribe. Like
later.
Bill just said,
Mm.
a new
Pastor
sheriff in
Bill.
town, baby. That's what it's
Baby.
been.
Reverend. Reverend Gal.
Yeah. And y'all saw what Gracie, what Cece said? Definitely. I think I spoke about that the other day. we keep trying to open doors that God has closed, and we keep opening them back up, keep going back around over and over. When God closes a door, leave it closed. There's another door open up that's better for you. Please understand that. Stop trying to open these old raggedy stuff closed, dry rotted doors when we need to just let them be.
Yes.
And be mad when stuff sits in on
when
us.
the right door,
Right.
You open the door.
okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's an intruder in the house. No, they not. You open the door and let them in. Stop it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Pay attention.
Yep, let them in. So we are coming towards the end. I'm super excited. This was a great conversation. So if you've been in a space where you still have it all wrong, we implore you to do something different because God has more for you, more in store, better for you. And so, again, things go wrong so that they can go right. We just have to leave it. I love this. Ms. Ella said, but give yourself grace instead the process. We always have to give ourselves grace, and we struggle with that.
Yes.
And so we do have to be in space and peace. We can't keep being hard on ourselves. We need to set the boundaries. We need to do what is necessary, whether it's take the action, get a new circle, whatever it is. Find out what you need to do. Like Gail talked about earlier, we have to look at the external and also the internal. We have to self-inspect, and introspect, because we need to understand what is happening. And when you understand it, the first thing is face it and embrace, because so many people, they try to skate over stuff. It ain't going away, baby. It's going to keep coming back. And you face it and embrace it. So yes, we must definitely inspect inside. And so we are so excited to bring this to you. We're excited, y'all. We got the cruise coming up. We got we got a spicy ball coming up in the weekend of greatness. So we're super excited about that. And before all of that, y'all, we will be in Texas at the Run Conference. If you are a businesswoman or any type of entrepreneur, if you want to get on with Dr. Kat, she is amazing. And this conference is going to be amazing. And guess what? It's there. It's going to be there. That's going to be amazing. I just told y'all.
Yes.
I mean, we had it all wrong before. I would have never said that, but I have to recognize who I am. I recognize who these ladies are. And when you have it, I mean, it's okay to say, you know what? I got it. And if you never speak about who you are, what you do, how people know to call you.
Right. Right.
You're going to be looked over and why they ain't called me? Because you ain't said nothing about it. You sitting up looking. Gotta open your mouth. But they say a closed mouth don't get fed, right?
Right.
And we're trying to be fed.
Right.
And we are trying to be fed, and we are trying to be led to the right spaces and places that are going to grow us. So no more of the all wrong. We ain't trying to do it wrong. We're trying to do it right. So with that being said, we're going to say good night. Oh, I'm rhyming. Ooh, right.
All
good
right.
night. No, I'm just...
Fight up. Make it happen beautifully, you all.
Nobody knows what you do if you don't know what you do.
You do. Good
and
night.
thank y'all so much for joining us. Please share it out. And thank y'all. And see y'all next week.
Good night.
Thank you, Spicy Squad.
And yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can do it.
Absolutely, you can.